In this video we continue to adapt the remote control switch or interrupter to a toy train. We have disassembled the casing of the train, which is an easy task. We just remove some screws here and remove this upper casing. One thing to keep in mind here is that there is a switch here, and to remove it you need to bend a little bit this plastic here carefully, not to break the casing, and then remove this part. After that we had to disconnect all cables because they were very thin, and I decided to rewire everything. So now I connected a connector to the wires so that I can connect this new battery. One of the wires from the battery go through the switch and allows me to turn off and turn off the power. When you turn on the power starts feeding this circuit board, which will then send power to the electrical motor. Now I left these two cables disconnected because I need now to add some kind of resistance to the circuit to make the electrical motor rotate slower. As this circuit starts working only if you apply minimum 3.6 volts, the electrical motor is rotating too fast. What we will do here is try different resistors and several diodes, and I will show you that sometimes resistors may not work in this case. So now if I start this electrical motor without any resistance in between these two wires, this is how it's going to work. And it could be too fast. So what do we do to lower the speed of the electrical motor? We'll try to add some resistance. Let me show you what will happen if I check the voltage coming from this battery, which is 3.7 volts, after I put these resistors one by one. So we have here no drop in the voltage. And let's check the resistance of this resistor. And we have 50 kilo ohms. This one is around 10 ohms. And let's check what happens if we connect it to the battery. And no change in voltage, more or less. Now let's check what will happen with voltage when we connect these resistors to the train. And look at this, how much voltage has dropped. It's showing 1.3 volts. And this is only 10 ohms. Now let's connect the larger resistance. And with this resistor nothing is happening. So the resistors are not actually the best way to limit the speed of the electrical motor. So what's the alternative? How to solve this problem? The alternative would be to use regular diodes. Around 4 mega ohms. Smaller one. Around 5 mega ohms. 4 kilo ohms. And the smallest one, .6 mega ohms. Now let's check how they will affect the circuit. The diodes usually allow the current flow in one direction, so we need to make sure we connect them correctly. And we see that the voltage is 3 volts. And remember that the resistance of this diode was pretty high. Let's try the other one. We also get around 3 volts. Let's try the smaller one. This provides us with high voltage, around 3.3 volts, and the smallest one this drops the voltage to 2.6 volts. The smallest one heats up, and I can notice it with my hand, and I don't think I would use it in the toy for safety reasons. So these are the things to keep in mind, that resistors may not help you to drop the speed of the electrical motor. The diodes are a better option. It's up to you what combination to use, depending on what speed you want. Here we have the result of our work after adapting the remote control switch or interrupter. Now we have all wires together. The casing of the train is assembled. The switch here is in its place. We added one LED on top of the electrical motor and put another LED inside here. Also, we put tape on the circuit board of the receiver. The diode is incorporated between the wires here. Now when we turn on the train, we get the following result. LED here and LED inside here, so it should look nice in the darkness. To make sure so many wires go through the casing easily, we had to remove some plastic parts on this side and on this side. Also, we had to remove some plastic dividers on the plastic cap that goes on top of the train. Finally, we have all wires and the battery fit inside, and after we put the cover on, the train is ready to go.